Hello everyone, this is Gacha Kricis, and a few days ago, Constance, or Dahlia, whichever you prefer, had their review unreleased, and we're gonna look at all her skills, how she's gonna work into break, because, man, her kit looks pretty insane and straight up ignores everything we know so far about this archetype. But before we get into it, if you're planning on getting any of these new upcoming characters, a way to get them while saving some money is Loot Bar. Here you can top up on your favorite games such as Genshin, Zenless, and of course Star Rail. Easy, fast, and cheap. And check this out, this 3200 shard pack is only 40 bucks compared to the 50 on the official store. You're saving a whole 25% here. All you need to do is put in your UID, your server region, select whichever pack you're wanting, and in a few minutes, boom, we have the shards. You don't have to take my word for it either. Bigger channels such as Gacha and Jello Impact and their communities use this on the regular. And if you use my link down below, you can get a further 10% off on a purchase on top of the discount you were getting already. So anyway, let's get right into it. The Dahlia is a fire nihility user, which is kind of strange since we already have a fire nihility support, but whatever. Her auto attack is pretty standard, so I'm just going to skip over it. Where it really gets interesting though is her skill. It deploys a zone for 3 turns, kind of like Ron May's skill, with duration decreasing at the start of Dahlia's turn. Then deals fire damage equal to 160% of Dahlia's attack to one enemy and adjacent targets. And while the zone is active, increases allies' weakness break efficiency by 50%. So that's pretty much just your runway right there. This is meant to replace her, I'm pretty sure. And toughness reduction taken by enemy targets while not weakness broken can be converted into super break damage. Now, this is the fucking insane part, because this means we can do super break when attacking non-broken targets, which completely breaks this archetype. It is just absolutely insane. I don't know what they're thinking, but I fucking love it. So, for ultimates, it inflicts the wilt state on all enemies, lasting 4 turns, then deals fire damage equal to 300% of Dahlia's attack, which is distributed across all enemies. I don't know exactly what that means. It's either it does 300% of Dahlia's attack to all enemies, or the total is 300% of Dahlia's attack, and it gets spread out between all enemies. I don't know. I'm gonna assume it's the former, because that sounds stronger, and I want it to be that way. Anyway, reduces defense of targets in the wilt state by 18% and applies weakness of all dance partner types to enemy targets. I guess this is pretty much just so you can use it with like Rappa and such, but she is meant to be more of a Firefly support. Her talent is pretty long. When entering combat, the Dahlia regenerates 35 energy and grants dance partner to this unit and the teammate who triggered combat. So I'm guessing that means if Firefly was the one who attacked the enemy, then they initiated combat, triggered combat. Whenever there is no other dance partner on the field, grants dance partners, I guess it's just typo, to this unit and the teammate with the highest break effect. After a dance partner attacks a weakness broken enemy target, the toughness reduction from this attack is converted into 1 instance of super break damage at 60%. After an enemy target is attacked by the other dance partner, the Dahlia launches a follow-up attack, dealing 5 instances of damage, dealing fire damage equal to 30% of Dahlia's attack to one random enemy. Each instance of damage to a weakness broken enemy target, the toughness reduction from this damage is converted into 1 instance of super break damage at 200%. This effect can only trigger once per turn. If the target is defeated before the follow-up attack is used, it'll be launched at a random enemy. So I feel like if you want to make the most use of the Dahlia, you're going to want a lot of speed and a decent amount of break effect. Also, I am going through this with you guys. This is like pretty much my first impressions of this. It was the first time I'm seeing this. So we're just finding out stuff together here. As for her technique, she makes a special dimension that lasts 20 seconds. Enemies in the dimension will not attack allies. After entering combat with enemies in the special dimension, the Dahlia immediately deploys her skill zone and converts combat triggering toughness reduction to 1 instance of super break damage. What? Oh wait, that means so she enters combat and just instantly does damage, even if they're not broken. That's pretty sick. Honestly, only 1 dimension created by allies can exist at one time, of course. That is how dimensions work. The stat boost from mini traces will be 37% break effect, 18% effect res, and 10% HP. Or her first major trace, when entering combat, increases other characters' break effect equal to 24% of Dahlia's break effect plus 50% for 1 turn. This effect triggers again lasting 3 turns, when the Dahlia receives healing or a shield from random teammates but cannot be triggered repeatedly within a single turn. Okay, so you can't really use her in, what do you call that? Sustainless, because she needs healing or a shield, which kind of sucks, because if you are an avid Firefly user, like me, you will know that Sustainless Firefly is kind of the only way you can use her right now. It's pretty unusable, even at E2, without Sustainless, in my opinion. It just takes way too many turns. Her second major trace, when using Talent's follow-up attack, recovers 1 skill point. This effect can be triggered once for every 2 follow-up attacks used. So yeah, I feel like I am right in saying you want her to be really fast and you want your main DPS break dealer to also be really fast, so you can proc this as much as you want. Though if you have Firefly, this doesn't really matter. I feel like this is kind of useless because E2 Firefly, which is kind of the only useful Firefly right now, just doesn't use skill points. So you're overflowing anyways. For the last major trace, this is the one that pretty much solidifies her as a Firefly support. When an ally target applies weakness to an enemy target, increases speed by 30% for 2 turns. So that's pretty much for Firefly right there. When, or Blue Tail, you know. When this effect is triggered by an ally fire character, also generates a set amount of energy equal to 10% of max energy, capping at 50% of max energy. This effect can only be triggered once for each character in each turn. Now, this is so good because, man, Firefly just does have that downtime issue when she first leaves ult. Unless she kills like a fuck ton of shit, she will never reach 50% max energy, which means she has to spend 2 turns getting into her ult state instead of just 1 turn. So this just makes Firefly so much better. Onto her Eidolons. Her E1 applies Talent's break damage multiplier provided to Dance Partner to all ally characters. Oh shit. With Dance Partner additionally receiving a 40% boost. Wow. After Dance Partner uses an attack, deals an additional fixed amount of toughness reduction equal to 25% the enemy's max toughness, minimum of 10 points up to 300 points. This effect can trigger only once per enemy target, and the trigger count for each target resets after the enemy receives a killing blow. So that's pretty insane. Pretty much just give Dance Partner to everyone and make your original Dance Partner even more busted. I think E1 is gonna be like the goal for every Constance user. So start saving now. For E2, Wilt additionally reduces all type res by 18%, and when an enemy target enters the field, immediately inflicts a Wilt state to them. So you don't have to use ultimate on round start to get the debuff. I think this is mainly for future. If you were getting like a new super break DPS that wasn't fire, you'd kind of want E2 so you can get that weakness on them immediately. Pretty sure that's how it's meant to be. For E4, increases the instances of damage dealt by the talent follow-up attack by 5, so that'll be 10, and every hit increases the target's damage taken by 12%, lasting for 2 turns. And finally, for E6, increases Dahlia's break effect by 150%. When using her talent's follow-up attack, advances the action of all dance partners by 15%. Now this doesn't look that great when you first look at it, but because it's giving 150% break effect, you can run her max speed and just spam the fuck out of your follow-up attack and advance everyone by 50% every like maybe 200 speed. It's like, it is kind of insane, I can't lie. And last but not least, we have her lightcone. Immolation increases the wearer's break effect by 60%. When entering combat, increases break damage dealt by the wearer and another teammate who triggered combat by 30%. If there is no teammate who triggered combat, applies this effect to the wearer and the teammate with the highest break effect. These effects cannot stack, so if you have multiple lightcones, you can't fucking stack that break damage increase. And when the wearer applies weakness to an enemy target, recovers 1 skill point. But yeah, that is pretty much it for Dahlia. I think she's pretty insane. I love Break. Break's been pretty shafted for a long time now because of these Kricis airs, and I'm glad to see it make a comeback, honestly. By the way, that giveaway is still going on from the last video. Just go to that video if you want to see how you can enter the giveaway. It's for 10 Star Rail Express passes, so the monthly login stuff. And I'll probably end that around, let's say, next week on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, just to make sure everyone can get in. If we don't get enough for 10, I'm just gonna give the people, like everyone who went down in the comments to apply for it, one, you know, they're all just pretty much guaranteed. And I'll save the extras say like only 6 people entered the giveaway. I'll save the extras, the 4 extra, and I'll give away 1 per week from that point until we go through all 10. And maybe I'll start another giveaway once we hit 1,000 subs. How about that? Once we hit another 1,000 subs, I'll give away another 10 Star Wars passes. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below what your thoughts on Dahlia, and yeah, love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.